The title was Zero Touch SBOM Generation. I just wanted to go through how we came to this. So this was one of the discussions that we have a lot of times in the team. I'll explain why. So let's say if you are developing a POC, which happens with us a lot. So let's say if you're developing a POC and you gave a demo to the customer or for any tools, not specific to anything. If you gave a demo to the customer, they liked it, and now they want it on their production system, let's say as soon as possible. Now, so for most of the developers or let's say for most of the people who are developing POC, they don't consider license compliance or compliance as an issue. And then what happens is, let's say if you have a delivery date in 1 month and one Friday where you are going home all chill, and then you realize someone calls, where is the compliance check? Where is all the clearing reports? So that was something which happened with us also. So then we decided, I don't know how many people has faced it, but it would be better if we have something which can help here. And SBOM was one of the answer. And the other was, why not do something with SBOM and come up with an approach where we can also solve this for other peoples as well. So next is just a very short slide to basically explain what is SBOM. So in general words, SBOM is more like a machine readable inventory where you have components of your software. You can have open source components, you can have proprietary components, free components, paid components, and also the AI models or whatever, right? So it is more like a format where machine understands, or machine can or a machine can basically take care of all the components that you need in your project. So I have one more slide where I want to give you a comparative analysis what SBOM is. So to put things in perspective, SBOM is not very different from any food label nutrition, or fact that you get behind any food item or any drink items. So if you see here, there is total fat, cholesterol, sodium, whatever. And if you see this side, this is SBOM format. And you see here also, it is a list of the components that you are using in your tool. It can go to any package manager. It can, I just in the last slide I explained what components it can have. But yeah, generally just to put things in perspective. So there is this question that comes up a lot: why SBOM matters now? So as we have also understand that there are few regulatory drivers also for these questions. So when I say regulatory drivers, what I mean is the EU Cyber Resilience Act and the US Executive Order, and then there are other sectors. So all these, the healthcare sector, the automotive and energy, they have added their own compliance requirement now. US Executive Order has also mandated SBOMs for the delivery of products, and EU Cyber Resilience Act also looked into the upstream visibility to have to be mandatory. So these are the regulatory drivers that answers why SBOM is mandatory. And then you have cyber security and vulnerability management. So a modern SBOM, so the design of SBOM is such that it allows you to see not just the components, but also the vulnerabilities that are linked to that component. And so that is also an issue, that if you have everything on a track, that these are the components that we are using and these are the vulnerabilities linked to it, and eventually if something comes up, or if it's high priority vulnerability, then you can fix it because you are keeping a track of it. So VAX, again, you can use to identify if the vulnerability actually affects the system, which again reduce the false alarms. Now, next is the supply chain management. So knowing your upstream dependencies not just one layer deep, but 2, 3, or 4 layers deep is a key to prevent risk propagation. As I've also explained above, that not just component but related vulnerabilities, related security issues. If you are keeping a track of all of this, you are mitigating a lot of risk. And then also dependencies are not static, right? There are a lot of hidden liabilities that are linked with these dependencies. There has to be, license compliance. If you are using a product which is not compliant to the license, or you have licensed your product, then there is also one issue. And then there are other hidden liabilities also, right? So then so this is a general SBOM generation in SDLC. So you have a source, then the step comes for the build, then you do test, release, deploy, and then the SBOM is generated, right? So this is very generic approach where people have developed it. But in a software development life cycle, you have a source, and then after each build you can generate an SBOM. All these steps are already there. So what we are what approach that we took, I think I'll invite Gaurav to maybe explain a bit more.
Yeah, thanks. So as you have seen, this is a generic pipeline which almost every software production has. So we also had that while we were working on our POCs in our research group. And then we understand, okay, we have to do this SBOM generation, and we already have almost everything which has to go in that SBOM in this step. So why not generate over there? And then we explored a bit here and there, and we understand, okay, we are not the first person who are actually facing these issues, and there are various solutions already. And people are generating SBOMs in their pipeline, so nothing new over here. But if you see the SBOMs which are generated, they are pretty basic. They mostly focus on the use case of security aspect. So you know your software, you know the components in your software, and then you link your vulnerabilities with them. So that solves the use case for you during the security. But there can be use cases like legal and license compliance, anything apart from this, and even CVEs. So maybe a vulnerability which is raised. For example, recently we had the issue with Log4j. So it was a very severe vulnerability, but you have workarounds to overcome it, and you, though not a very popular opinion, but you can apply those workarounds and still work with the vulnerable versions. Those informations are still missing in your SBOM. Anyone who interprets your SBOM will still say, okay, you have a vulnerable component. So why not we enrich our SBOMs, what we have generated, so we can cover other use cases as well, just not stop over there. So in this presentation, we are focusing primarily on license compliance because the tool FOSSology, which is used for license compliance, but this can be applied for any use case. So for example, in license compliance, you have complex licensing scenarios. So many licenses don't go together, but some they do go, but with an exception, or with some cases like static binding, dynamic binding may work, may not work. So those kind of answers, if we can do them beforehand. So as my colleague Kaushal said, in a POC, when you are going for a release, you are delivering a software, you want to do your license compliance. And if you start it at the very end, it's going to cost you a lot, going to take a lot of time. And many a times you end up with the scenarios where you have to change your dependency, and that again increases your cost, increases your delivery timeline. So if we catch these things early on, won't it be great? So yeah, we came up with these principles for zero-touch compliance, where we want to put everything on a CI/CD, so shift left. So whatever information you can take out for your SBOM, how to enrich your SBOM, how to put further information, let's do that in your CI pipeline, and let's do it on every build if possible, if not at least once a week or once a month, whatever is your release cadence, depending on that. And doing this, you can catch these pitfalls early on, and then you want to automate the solutions what you have. So we already know these license scanners and others, they may have some false positives, they may have some good results. So if you can automate these identifications, how do you fix those issues? So you can make your builds more and more predictable, more and more reproducible. Yeah. So put everything into a DevOps perspective and don't wait for the last moment. Enrich your data. So SBOMs, they can be very minimalistic as well, and they can be very detailed as well. So depending on what you want to deliver to your customer, you can decide it on the end. But when you are in your production phase, when you are in your development phase, why not keep as much information as possible? So you can decide at the later end what you want to ship to your customer, what you not want in your SBOM, because let's say for certain use cases, your customer might just want your list of components, their related VEX information. So happy, you have everything in your code base already. So you just deliver that information. Some customer might be interested in your licensing information. So yeah, you can provide that. And use continuous generation of SBOMs. So you don't rely at the very end, you don't rely only on the releases, but whenever you make, for example, you apply a patch, you created a patch for your software, and some customers may apply that, some may have to roll back because of some integration or IT/OT issues. So you don't lose the touch of your SBOM. Which version was that? So yeah, at the very end, we have also mentioned using open standards. So many tools still generate custom SBOMs with custom proprietary formats. We have seen spreadsheets, So let's not do that. Use open standards. There are Cyclone DX standard, SPDX standards, industry standards. Everyone can read them. There are thousands of libraries built on them. So yeah, we took these principles on our existing pipeline and we tried to apply them. So what we did is we took tools which are specialized, which are state of the art. For example, for our component identification, we took help of a lot of Cyclone DX tools. So they have very good toolchain, so why not use that? We use Cyclone DX, identified our components, then we used many components from FOSSology. They are very good with license scanning, copyright scanning. Then you can feed this data to any other vulnerability management tool which you are using inside your organization. So you don't have to invent anything new. It's just you have to do the orchestration of all the tasks what you want. So I have given a very simple example of a CI pipeline. So in your plan itself, whenever you are generating an SBOM for a component, at the very end, before doing a packaging, you would be doing an integration anyways. So why not use the SBOM from all your child components and generate your the delivery SBOM, you can say, or whatever you want, just right before packaging. So in your packaging, for example, with Debian packages, we have standard ways to ship your SBOM along with your package. There can be other standards. So yep, club everything together, do a good orchestration, and you would be, very good for several different use cases. So along with our use case, in our use case, along with just combining all this information, orchestrating, we just added few more tweaks which we found would be helpful for our orgs, and you can do it for your as well. So on the left you can see where our pipeline has failed. So we built in this feature where you have to provide an allow list of licenses, which licenses are okay in your product to be used, and which is not mentioned in that list will fail your build. So by doing this, we are also enforcing our developers, we are also enforcing our software managers that they are aware what they are putting into their component and into their product. It's not just blindly taking everything from here and there. So make cautious decisions. Otherwise, your pipeline will fail. You cannot make a build. You cannot do a delivery. So yeah, be cautious from the very beginning. And if everything goes well, you have all the check marks, and then you get an SBOM. So yeah, a short snippet of the SBOMs. So as I mentioned, we started using Cyclone DX for generating our component identification on the left. So we have a Cyclone DX report. So this was the input for the tool. And on the right, we have a report generated in SPDX format. So we have libraries for both. They both are written in Python. So yeah, why not? So you can see on the left, we did the minimal requirement, and we identified what components we want, what are their versions, where they are coming from, what is their package manager, and such. And on the right, then we download those components, we feed into FOSSology, we get out the information from there. And then we create this SBOM in SPDX format, along with the licensing information, along with the copyright information. So a very interesting example over here was this for us. So like in one component, we have Apache 2 and BSD 3 clause license. In the other one, we have GPL 2.0. So it may work for some organizations, for some companies, it may not work for others. So yeah, this is a very good thing to do if you are focusing on the shift left approach. In your pipeline itself, we very easily identified this issue with our product, our POC, what we were working on. And it make our life also easier because we can quickly identify, okay, there is an issue. We approach to our software manager, ask for help, our product manager ask for help. And if they do a go or a no, then we can early on decide, okay, this is a library which is giving us a trouble. Can we find an alternative and do the changes beforehand? As the product grows and at the later cycle, if you have to do these changes, everyone know how costly it is. So yep, all in all, we wanted to promote these things, like put your SBOM generations into an automated step, try to avoid manual tasks as much as possible, and just not generate plain generic SBOMs which contain a very minimal information, but you can do a lot more. And at the end, when you are deciding to make a delivery, you can pick and choose which information you want to share with your customer, which information you do not, but you would be ready with whatever they may ask you. Okay, so yeah, I guess we have a lot of time for question and answers if there are any.